It's gonna get real hot in here. Yep, it's gonna get real sweaty.
So I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, Lowe's is done with the DEI, and also a miracle pill has been invented for beer drinkers. And a pilot on mushrooms tries to crash a plane. And is your speedometer lying to you? All this and much more will be discussed here on Deacon Live as we go through the latest social news, viral stories, and videos and stuff that you've missed over the last 7 days or so. How are you? And it's all done within 60 minutes. I'll try to keep it under 60 minutes this time. I know, kind of disappointed you a couple. I know you ran long and stuff. You know what? It's just it's enough for you got leftovers for the next day, right? If it goes over 60 minutes, you got enough. A little bit of leftover, a little snacky poo for the morning ride to work or something like that. I have got a fan club. Yeah, I know, outside of you guys. And don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video over on YouTube. You can find us over on YouTube. Subscribe to us over there. It's just another way for you to enjoy, another media outsource for you to enjoy the Deacon Live podcast over at YouTube. That's Deacon Live podcast over on YouTube. So give us a like and subscribe over there. So I've got a fan club. Now, for those new to the show, I have been walking every day. And when I say every day, I'm talking Saturday and Sunday too. I have been walking every day. I don't think I've missed a day. Where's my phone at? I got my app tracker. Let me see if I've missed any days. Have I missed any days walking? How do I find out if I'm walking? How many days? Together, my page, stress, that's always on there. Fitness. I don't need a fucking video. I don't need that. I need home. Where's my fucking more? Favorites, walking. Oh, for fuck's sake. Anyways, fuck it. I have not missed a single day in the last, I'm going to say, 6 weeks. 6 weeks I have walked a minimum of 3 miles. Now, I just amped up my game and started walking 4 miles. I know. It's an entertainment show. I'm getting to that. Don't worry. So, I walk. We sit on about 22 some odd acres here. And there's a neighborhood going up on a dead-end cul-de-sac street, like, I don't know, 500 yards. I'm not good with distance, but I know how long a mile is because I walk it every day. And they're putting up houses on there, real nice houses. Each house has probably about an acre lot, and they're real nice, brick houses, and they're not on top of each other, right on top of each other. Nice laid out, sprawled out land and stuff. And they've got a house down there that's almost completely done. They only build one at a time. Person buys the land, then they build the house. Person buys the land, then they build the house. It's not a developmental place. So this house is almost done. So now they're starting to run the ground wires and stuff. So there's a guy with one of these, if you're watching me on the YouTube video, one of these, scoops. He's sitting on a mechanical machine. It's got a small bucket, probably about 24 inches wide, scoops and digs like this big trench that runs along the road because they're going to bury cable. And that trench is probably a good 3 feet deep. Jesus Christ. Put the water lines down there so they don't freeze. So, the guy would dig a trench, and then all the inspectors would come out and they all look at it. Yep, that's a trench. And then they all get in their trucks and they leave, and he'd dig another 100 feet, and they all come out and look at it. Yep, that's a trench. Well, over the last 6 weeks, if not more than that, they've been out there, surveying and doing all this other stuff. So I've got to know the guys. Hey, what's going on, Tom? Hey, Dick. Hey, Harry. What's going on? So a new crew's come out there because now they're laying the cables out there. And one guy goes, hey, man, Do you do this every day? I go, yeah, every day. I try to, are you trying to lose weight? Another guy would ask me, are you trying to lose weight? I go, well, we're all trying to lose weight. You could be, 100 pounds and you still think you're fat. There's a disease for that, but I mean, everyone's just trying to lose weight. I don't know what this big thing about losing weight. I know health and its benefits and so on and so forth. I said, no, I'm tired of sitting on my ass in the morning. I've got literally, when I wake up and go down and feed the horses and then come back, I usually kind of piddle around the house, going to pick up little things here and there, and before I start work. And this is work for me, whether I'm doing the show or editing the show or doing, social medias and all that stuff. So I'm constantly in this studio, 5 days a week, sitting behind this TV screen, this computer monitor, this picture tube. So I was like, you know what? Instead of just sitting here wasting my time, why don't I go out and make something of myself, walk or something like that. And I was doing it before we went on the cruise and stuff, and I've just stuck with it. I walk every day. Every day I do 4 miles, and every time I go down there, and they're like going, hey, here comes, Deacon. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? Well, they call me my real name. Hey, there's Travis. And I'm like, hey, guys. And they're like going, one guy will go, do you do this every day? There's always one new guy out there. You do this every day? And they all go, yes, he does it every day. And when I do my last lap, I'm like, all right, guys, see you tomorrow. And they're like, see you later, Travis. I'm like, all right, see you later. But it's kind of cool that these guys recognize me going out there because I'm technically walking through their workshop, their office, because, I'm walking around this truck and this flatbed trailer, and I'm walking, because they park them on the side of the road, and I got to kind of bebop around them. And then come back home. So I just thought it was kind of neat. A little fan club. They look for me every day. Oh, you're running a little bit late today, Trav. Running a little bit late. I'm like, something happened at the house. I had Dad pick him up or something, something stupid, make up an excuse. But usually I'm out there on the road, 8 o'clock every morning, make that turn going down that long, the long and winding road, all the way down to the cul-de-sac. Hey, guys, that doing all the work, and then I come back. All right, so there you go. That's what I had a little fan club. I thought it was kind of cool, kind of neat. Those guys actually recognize me instead of just being jerk-offs like half the people in this world want to be when you're out there just trying to do a normal thing and get out of here. All right, guys, stick around. We got a lot to talk about, and I guess people don't like electric cars as much as we thought they did, because there's a lot of things happening at the electric car plants and the actual chargers that are out there. And I'll dive in that story when we come back. It's amazing. I thought we were all on the same page. I thought we were all friends on that, but I guess not. And I'll dive in that. So stick on. You listen to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. It's getting hot. I feel the sweat coming off my back. Off my back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. We'd love to hear from you, and the way you can do that, you can be part of the show, you can be podcast famous, is go over to Prophet Radio, proud sponsors of Deacon Live. That's PROPHET radio.com. At the top of the page says, leave a message for Deacon Live. Click, listen, and send. That's all you do. With 3 little steps. You can be anonymous if you want. I don't care. And you can be right alongside of us if you got a question about anything here at the show or anything that we've done here in the past. And we've got a whole bunch of a catalog of all the different shows that we've done over the last 10 years or so. So if you have a question from like 2019, make sure you give me the show that you're talking about and the date, so I can go back and listen to it and go, oh yeah, well, what I meant by this, dumbass, that's ideal. No, I won't call you dumbass. You'll probably call me dumbass. So you can do that. And if you have any questions for me, if you don't want to leave us a message, you can also email me anytime at deacon@prophetradio.com. Now, my wife was in a horrible car accident I don't know, several years ago, probably around 2019, 2020, somewhere around there, and totaled her 4Runner. The 4Runner was an 04, so, it had some miles on it, but still, it was a great car. We got the money out of it, and we turned around and bought a classic 1990, just a farm truck, a classic 1992 Nissan D21. A little 5-speed on the floor, and it ran like a champ. The AC, we had to fix the AC, but I mean, it's a 92. What do you expect? They had a convergence back in the day. So we switched it over to the new stuff. It's still not 100%, but still it works just fine. And one thing on the Nissan D21, the little pickup truck, if you look at the speedometer, let me switch Okay, I had to switch screens. The speedometer looks like this. It's bent, and it's like bent into the plastic to where the numbers are. That's touching the numbers, so it doesn't move. It just sits there. It's stuck on like 10 miles an hour or something. I'm not moving past this point. So my wife and I, just to make sure that we're obeying the speed limits and everything, she put a thing on her phone, a speedometer thing on her phone. It's like an app, how fast am I driving? And she'd sit it right there in the dashboard so she can see how fast she was driving. And so that's how we kept track of our speed. Now, this gentleman right here wrote a letter to a newspaper asking, hey, I got a speeding ticket the other day, but I noticed that my speedometer and my GPS were two different speeds. So he said to the newspaper, he goes, surely GPS technology should be more accurate than a speedometer. Well, the person replied back saying, yes, GPS is usually more accurate than a speedometer. By law, manufacturers have to make sure that the car's speedometer doesn't underread. As a result, most of them set up theirs to overread within a certain permitted margin of error, which is 10%, or plus 6.25 miles per hour. In other words, if you're actually doing 70 and the new car's speedometer actually reads 70 to 83 miles an hour. Well, that's 13 miles an hour difference, which many drivers rely on their sat nav or their GPS readout to give them a more accurate indication on their speedometers. But I didn't realize that the speedometers aren't really that accurate. Unless you got like the digital ones, but I mean, even the digital ones, they should be pretty accurate, right? I would think so. Well, they're saying that the speedometer with the needle, I guess it could be off by 6 or 7 miles per hour. The guy got a speed ticket. Could you take that to court though and say, hey, look, I was doing what my speedometer said I was supposed to be doing, and then they'll have to go through and where they test it and make sure everything's fine and the speedometer is reading what it's supposed to, or how bad is it off? Because then you can get out of a ticket. But granted, no one's going to give you a ticket. Have you ever gotten a ticket for 5 miles over a speed limit? Unless you're in a school zone. Oh, they don't like that in a school zone. But right now, someone who doesn't like something, weird segue there. But something I thought everyone liked was electric cars. I thought we were all on board. What did Joe Biden say? I wanted by 2025, I want all cars, to be electric, or whatever year he said, 2035. And I think for the most part, we are going to that direction. And there's a car manufacturer out there. What is it? The Rivian? Rivian. They got some weird looking cars. And I guess are they their own manufacturer? Like Toyota or something doesn't make it. And I think that's who makes it, right? So let's dive into this they were worried about, cars catching on fire and stuff. And they're like, no, electric cars, they don't catch on fire. Well, unfortunately, a fire ravages the Rivian factory and destroys all the electric vehicle fleet. The whole entire fleet was destroyed. Excuse me. Many, I believe that EVs are the future of mobility as far as being a cleaner alternative to the traditional internal combustion engine. Same is on the rise. At the same time, with the rise of electric vehicles, there has been an increase of incidents involving them catching on fire, raising concerns about the safety of these high-tech batteries on wheels. Just recently, a fire was spotted at the EV maker Rivian's Normal, Illinois factory, and was captured on video. Now I'm going to switch over to camera 4, and you can see this video in real time and what's happening here. Holy mackerel, look at this place. Let me see. I'm sure it's got some, please everyone cuss. So let's turn it on. Look, oops. Oh yeah, the whole parking lot's on fire. Oh, there goes the environment. He tried to save the environment, and all these electric cars are on fire. Black smoke. Oh, it's like that one train that derailed. They're just going to let it burn out, and everyone now has like bronchitis and stuff. Yeah. So this past week, all right, thank you. Oh, I got to switch to camera 4 so you can see it. There you go. Sorry for all that. There you go. I'll let it run a little bit more. All right, you got the idea. So back to me. This is what we know so far This past weekend, there was a pretty significant blazing inferno that broke out in the American EV manufacturer's plant. The fire apparently caused several damage to about 50 vehicles, and it occurred in the plant's north parking lot just before 9:45 p.m. on this past Saturday. In the video, you can see for yourself just how intense the flames were and how thick the smoke engulfed the area to create a chronic and dangerous situation. Oh my God. Thanks to the swift response of the Normal, Illinois, I guess Normal's the town, fire department, the blaze was contained and extinguished by midnight. So it took them almost 3 hours, a little over 3 hours to get that thing under control. Fortunately, the fire was limited to the vehicles and did not spread to the plant itself, avoiding what could have been a much larger disaster. So there is an investigation currently on the way to determine the cause of the fire. Meanwhile, an aerial photo, let me switch back to camera 4. Look, they got it all blocked off now with sea containers and stuff. Look, they're all just sitting there. They were all on fire. It's like when you burn like a snake and the next one catches the next one on fire and so on and so forth. The aerial photo shared in the Rivian electric vehicle discussion Facebook shows over 30 vehicles burnt to a crisp. Even those that apparently intact from a distance likely suffered heat damage, making it possible for the entire group of vehicles to be considered lost. Now, so conspiracy, let's go with this conspiracy. Everyone loves a good conspiracy. What if that batch right there was missing something? We're waiting for, X amount of parts or whatever to come in. And they're like going, all right, when are they going to be here? We got to get these cars out on the road. Pardon the pun. Not for another year. You know what? It's a loss. Tony, Tony, go set them on fire. All right. Throws a Molotov out there and gets the fire going, and they write it off as a loss. They're not going to say the batteries did it. They're going to figure out some way other to because they want to make sure that everyone knows that they're safe. So they're going into that now. On the other end of the spectrum, people who do have the electric cars and they're fine and they love them all to death are now having a hard time figuring out where to charge them. Because out in California, the city's EV progress is undone by vandals as they slash newly installed chargers during construction. It could take weeks to get replacements, the article says. The city in California is making a significant progress in installing electric vehicle chargers, was forced to go backwards to square one after an all too common but unfortunate occurrence has happened. As explained by the Times-Herald this past July, the city of Vallejo has installed chargers at 4 downtown parking lots as a partnership with the EVCS and has begun construction on charging ports in 3 community centers. However, the Times-Herald visited each and every new charging station and discovered that the wires had been slashed. One station even had caution tape wrapped around it. The parking lot that was up first in the city's plan for opening of charging stations was simply waiting for approval from the Pacific Gas and Electric Company to activate the actual power, to throw the switch on them. The exposed wires that lot were covered. It should be not. Can you proofread your article? We pay you enough. The exposed wires that were not covered in electrical tape were damaged, and the other exposed wires were slashed as well. It is unclear that the city was aware of the issue and has not responded for requests of comment. So I guess, people all around I'm like, no electric cars, but California, aren't they a little bit more like pro-electric cars? Why were they slashing them and stuff? There's some people out there that just, I don't want them. They don't want the electric cars. Maybe there's something that they know over there that we don't, it's not getting to us here on the East Coast. So I don't know. If you live out there in California area and you're seeing this, take a picture of it. Or let us know what you feel, and the way you do that is go to profitradio.com. Leave us a message, comes right to our inbox, or you can email me at any time at profitradio.com. When we come back, this guy was high on mushrooms and said, I need to crash this plane. We'll dive in his story and what led him to get how they subdued him, how they held him down when we come back. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Profit Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to DeaconLive. You want something for free? Well, we will give you something for free, but what you have to do to get it is go over to ProfitRadio.com. It's not an email grab, believe me. It's just a way of saying thank you. You can see all the fine programming that comes out of this Profit Radio studio. Pick yourself out a little prize pack. There's some stickers, some keychains, some magnets. We're going to have some beer koozies up there here shortly. And pick one out, and we'll send it out to you if you live here in the United States. If you live overseas, well, it's going to take a little bit to get to you. That's all I have to say. But go over there, Profit Radio, pick you out something for free. And while you're over there, leave us a message or email me at any time at deacon@profitradio.com. Now, I know there's sometimes in my life, you get a little buzz going, and you're like going, you know what? I can do that. This is old news to me. You know, this is old hack. I can do this. I can run this bar. I can do this. I can, you know, whatever. You get this little big, you know, what is it? Liquid courage type deal. Well, this is not liquid courage. This is fungus courage. And this gentleman right here, a pilot, an off-duty pilot, who tried to crash a plane with 83 people on board after taking magic mushrooms, speaks out for the first time. Joseph David Emerson regrets his action, which happened while he was under the influence of drugs. Oh, drugs. Is mushrooms a drugs, or is it I would call it a narcotic. I know I'm splitting hairs here, but when you think drugs, you think of like, here's your drugs. It's in a pill bottle. It's in powdered form. Mushrooms are kind of like you trip on your skateboard, you fall face first into a cow patty, and then you wake up, you know, with mushrooms in your mouth. You're like going, holy shit, everything's fucking weird. I don't consider those drugs. I don't know. Well, I digress, and we move on. The pilot initially tried to crash the plane with 83 passengers on board while under the influence of mushrooms, revealed his side of the events. Joseph David Emerson is waiting trial after being arrested for attempted crash of an Alaskan airline flight 2059 on October 22nd, 2023, while in the cockpit. He made it all the way to the cockpit. Hey, guys. Hey, I'm one of you. Hey, man, we're together. Following the incident, the 44-year-old was charged with 83 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of endangering an aircraft on a flight that was en route for San Francisco, California, from Everett, Washington, in the U.S. Well, where else would it be? Also, almost a year from the incident, Emerson now spoke to ABC about how things unfolded from his perspective. 2 days before the flight was set up to depart, Emerson said him and his friends took psychedelic mushrooms, a Class A drug that can cause hallucinations. Let's do it that way. They took all the mushrooms in commemoration of his best friend's death, who died 6 years earlier. All right, a little late to getting on board. Oh, it's 6 years. He's gone still. However, he said that the effects lasted days after taking them, and he didn't feel right when traveling to the airport for his flight. That's where everything should have stopped. The pilot said he could only think about being at home with his family, with fears setting in that he would never make it back, as he took his seat in the cockpit of the jet. Hold on. So the pilot said that he could only think about being at home with his family, with fear setting in that he would never make it back, as he took his seat in the cockpit of the jet. So is he in the jet flying on mushrooms from the day before? I think we saw a movie like that with not Samuel L. Jackson. I know they all look alike. Denzel Washington. He told ABC he felt like he was being trapped. Am I trapped on this plane right now? I'll never go home, Emerson told ABC News. He claims that he started to believe what he was seeing wasn't real, convinced himself that he was not going to actually go home to his friend, as his friends texted him saying, do some breathing exercises to calm down. So was he on the plane? I guess so. Here's the flight deck, the actual recording. And I'm going to switch to camera 4 here. There's not a whole lot to see, but you can at least... Well, there he is right there. There's the guy. He's bald-headed. Bald-headed, like... That's a bad thing. I think he just shaves his head. And this is the actual conversation they had from the tower to the cockpit about Joseph David Emerson freaking out. So here we go. Commercial. Here we go.
Okay, Okay, I'll just give you a heads up. We've got the guy that tried to shut the engines down out of the cockpit, and he doesn't sound like he's causing any issue in the back right now. I think he's the dude. Yeah, we want law enforcement as soon as we get on the ground and park.
Horizon 2059, turn right, heading 100. When you have a moment, what is your gate that you're parking at? And do you need local law enforcement to show up?
Yes, we need law enforcement 100, and we don't know the gate yet.
Horizon 2059, roger. When you find out, let me know, please.
Yes, we'll do.
Horizon 2059, what is the threat level?
The threat is now in the back of the airplane, so we're reduced on the threat level. We're going to check in with the flight attendant to make sure everything is running smoothly, but it seems like he settled down as soon as he, after one moment of going a little bit overboard, we put him back. So
Taped him up.
2059, roger. Just so we can report this, what was the highest level that occurred?
it escalated to a 4 for his 209, but he's out of the cockpit now.
He's out of the cockpit now. So can you imagine that? You show up to work and you're still tripping on mushrooms. Let me see. What camera are we on right here? There we go. And you're tripping on mushrooms. You're like going, I have to get out of here. I have to get out of here. And meanwhile, you're in the air. And so your mind starts going, well, you can't go anywhere. You can't go anywhere. I got to go somewhere. Oh, you can. You're stuck in this plane. And I got to take everyone down. Joseph, will you sit the fuck down? No, I got to get it. He's beating on the door. He's punching his co-pilot. I got to get out of here. Shut the planes down. Shut the engines down. I got to go. You got to go, all right. Can I get a stewardess up here with a roll of duct tape, please? I'm now the captain. So, can you imagine pulling him out of there and he's wiggling back and forth and he's dragging him down the center of the aisleway? No, he's fine. Can I get you anything? Can I have a Sprite, please? I'll be right with you, sir. Bing, bing, all that stuff. Oh, mayhem in the air. Oh, I know. It's got to be scary. And speaking of mayhem, let's stay on the same path here. This woman right here is a brand new student flying by herself. A student pilot solo loses engines and crashes. I'm a student pilot, she says, and she's panicking. And this was all caught on the the two-way between the tower and her. And I don't know if she crashes, but this is a video here, and I'll switch over to camera 4. Let's see what happens to this young lady as she's trying to land this little Cessna. So here we go.
78445, I'm having engine issues out here.
78445, say again, you're having issues with your engine?
Yes, issues with the engine.
Country 8190.
You can see her flight pattern at the bottom of the screen here as she's flying. Make sure I got the right thing. There we go. As she's flying here, you can see her flight pattern.
3 Bradley ground. Roger, there's Robertson, 12 to 1 o'clock in about 10 miles. Are you able to maintain altitude?
Negative, engine is off.
45.
She's gliding.
About 3 o'clock and 5 miles. It's Waterbury Airport.
I'm a student pilot solo, and I am panicking. 78445.
78445.
Oh, man.
Stay calm and tell me if you can see the airport. It's about 2 o'clock and 5 miles now. That's your closest airport.
Negative, I do not have airport in sight. 78445.
78445. So just starting to make your way to that airport.
I can't see the airport.
Clyde. It's about 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock and about 5 miles. 180, about 10 miles behind you, student pilot solo, lost an engine. They're at 4,700 feet. You want to try to guide them into airport 122? 180, if you'd like to assist, it's up to you. 445, 5 miles southwest of you now. It's a grass.
So they're trying to bring in other planes
Can you
in.
advise on a heading for that, please? 78445.
445, so just heading 210. You're right above it right now. It should be right below you, grass strip, 2,000 foot.
Set it down, girl. Set it down.
445. It appears you're going past it right now. Suggest you turn right, heading 020.
Turning right.
She's scared out of her mind.
Be out your right window when you turn. I'm showing you about a half mile just southwest of it. So turn right, heading 050. Suggested. It should be off your right side. You're just slightly above it and west of it.
Roger, I have it in sight. 78445.
Oh, she found it.
445. Very good. Set up as you need, and let us know if you need anything.
This all
Can you
took.
please contact Poughkeepsie Tower?
445. We will. Poughkeepsie Tower. No problem. And 445. You're doing great. Keep it in sight and keep going.
This all happened in Connecticut on June 23rd this year.
445. 445, this is 12180. Do you have any questions? I got you in sight. I'm right above you. Let me know.
Roger, thank you, 78445.
All right, 445, I would join it downwind right now. So start, and right base from
He's
there.
walking her through it.
What's your altitude right now? 445? All right, yeah, so start heading to the airport right now. Pitch your best glide, Turn right now.
Right now.
For the airport.
Right now.
I can approach 121.
Now!
That plane just went down in the trees short of the runways.
Ah, damn it.
180, Roger. Appreciate the help. 90, appreciate the help. If you can help any indication of exactly where they are, I'd appreciate it.
The student pilot solo survived the crash and was taken to the nearest hospital. But can you imagine that? You're a solo pilot and you're, let's respect me now, and your engines die. You know, they teach you all that stuff. I'm assuming they teach you all that stuff when you're flying a plane, and now you're solo. And, oh, man, you know, she sounded, you know, just like a little scared little girl up there. And you know, you could just white knuckles, what do I do? And, you know, you're trying to play rational stuff like, you know, and she ended up putting it in the trees. But fortunate enough, she did survive, took her to the hospital, and she survived that crash. But, I mean, that's it. You're looking at everything going by, and you're like going, this is it. This is the end. This is the end. And when we come back, this town of Alaska thought it was the end as well. And I called it. I called it when I was there. I said, that something's going to happen right there. And I pointed right at it. And I think I got pictures of it somewhere in my photo album. I said, something's going to happen right there because it's happened before. And I'll dive into that story when we come back. So stick around. You'll see Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Don't forget all the musical artists that you hear during the break. We have given them a platform. We're one of the, I'm going to say one of the only podcasts that will give local unsigned artists a platform to display their music and to get their music and their artistry and their sound to you. So as much as we love them, why don't you show them some love as well? And you can hear all the full-length songs. Go over to prophetradio.com. You can also see their banners on the prophetradio.com page. Make sure you add them to your Spotify playlist. Make sure you go to their website. Just show them some love as well. If you like them, great. We're trying to open up people's ears to new music and everything. And there's not a lot of places that'll do that can do that for you right now. Yeah, granted, you know, you have to do research and stuff. You know, I like this band, I like this sound, and this artist is new. At least you can find all new artists here. In our podcast, and we give them a platform to do that. Now, when we went to Alaska a couple months back. I told you that. And the weird, awkward situation that we ran into was the boat docked at 8 o'clock in the morning, but our flight leaving, there was 3 flights leaving out of, where were we at? I don't know, in Alaska somewhere. One is 9:15, so I don't want to have to sit there and, disembark the boat, get our stuff, run to the airport, and hopefully make the 9:15 flight. So we said, well, we'll just take the other one and just kind of hang out in the city for the day. Kind of a bad idea. We did have a good time, relax and stuff. But, we're carrying our luggage around. We found a place that we could just drop our luggage off. They charge like $20 for like 6 hours or something like that. But if I would have known about this right here, I would have done that instead. And what this is, if you have a long layover, look for a transit hotel. They are my low-cost secret of not having a miserable trip, says this author. They can be miserable, but they can also be a great deal, which is why I recently brought my kids onto a flight with a 32-hour layover in Istanbul. The upside of this odd itinerary was to give us a full day in Istanbul, where we caught our connecting flight home. The downside of it, our first flight landed close to midnight, and our flight leaving left early the next morning. Frantically, I searched somewhere to stay during our 2-night stopover that was both conveniently close to the airport, would give us an easy access to the city, only about an hour away. My search led me to a fantastic, new-to-me concept called transit hotels. Airports are close to or connected to the airports, but transit hotels are like inside airports. Hold on. I'm sweating in here. Airport hotels are close or connected to airports, but transit hotels are inside airports. Many are in the airport's transit area where duty-free shops are usually located. Unlike airport hotels, transit hotels are usually beyond the airport security and immigration. Not having to get a passport stamp before checking in or boarding the plane saves a ton of time, while travelers won't have to leave the airport. Because of the unique location, transit hotels are often limited to international passengers who have a boarding pass for an onward flight anywhere from a few hours to a day or two later. Rooms can be typically booked for several hours or overnight if you just want to lay down and wash the scrub off of you. Many transit hotel guests never leave the airport. However, some passengers like me, the person who wrote this article, find that transit hotels make sense even if they plan to leave and explore the town around them. So if that would have been available to me, maybe it was and we didn't know it, is a transit hotel or just asking one of the hotels, hey man, can we rent a room? I know this is going to sound weird. Can we rent a room for 13 hours, 10 hours maybe? 10 hours? Do you have a half day rate somewhere? God knows there's a lot of hotels in there. And that's got to be a common practice if, there's only 3 flights leaving, one at 9 a.m., the other 2 is at 10 and 11 at night, and the boat's, docking every day. It happens every week. This boat docks at this Alaskan port. So, I don't know. Maybe we should look into that maybe on our next trip if we ever do that again. But one of the places that we did go while we were on our cruise was Ketchikan. And I'm sitting there, and we're sitting in the port. We pull up, they put us in the port, and I look up. Beautiful landscape. You got the big mountains behind you, and all the houses are like slabbed into the mountain. There was this one stretch. Are the cameras on me now? I just want to make sure. There was this one stretch of no tree. All the trees were missing, and they had big, huge pylons of cables. Cable pylon. And I go, something happened there, and I got a picture of it on my phone. I don't know where it's at. I don't have time to sit here and dig for it. I said, something happened there and that's right over the town. And I said, if they ever get a rainstorm, granted the cables will catch trees and stuff like that or falling rocks, because it's the side of a friggin' mountain. Well, guess what? My dream came true. A deadly Alaskan landslide upends the life tourist town of Ketchikan. Emergency crews in the Alaska tourist hub of Ketchikan brace for Monday for more manslides. Hey, baby, you want to come on my manslide? For more landslides after a large rain-drenched slope gave way on Sunday, killing one person and injuring 3 others and leaving dozens of homes damaged under evacuation order without power. The photos of the aftermath of the slide showed a wide track of a steep, thick, wooded hillside stripped of vegetation and tangled and twisted broken pine trees and other debris lay in a heaping mess against several buildings at the bottom of the slope. 4 to 5 homes were heavily damaged and destroyed by about 4 dozen dwellings. Learn to read, dummy. Were placed under mandatory evacuation and left without electricity, according to the Emergency Operations Official Center. In my 65 years in Ketchikan, I've never seen a slide of this magnitude, Mayor David Kiefer said in a statement posted online. 1 person confirmed killed, and 3 others were taken to the local hospital. According to the joint statement from the Ketchikan Gateway Borough, the city of Ketchikan is what they said. 2 of the injured were taken to the hospital. 1 was treated and released. I got a scratch on my arm. No further casualties. Details were immediately available, but no one was reporting missing. So they're saying, hey, look, we went in there and everyone's good. Everyone's accounted for. So if you want to see this video in real time, I'm going to switch over to camera 4. Here's the actual mudslide of what actually happened in Ketchikan.
Crunching entire homes.
We were just at that house for a garage sale last weekend.
Well, now it's
terrible.
Now it's a debris cell.
Sunday's tragedy
Holy
unleashing
Jesus.
a deadly wave of snapped trees, toppled power poles, pushing a mountain of debris into a hillside neighborhood.
That's what I saw right there.
Sideswiping the town of Ketchikan, a seaside destination on Alaska's famed Inside Passage and a frequent stop for cruise lines.
Yep.
Officials confirming one person was killed while driving when the slide swallowed their vehicle.
Oh, geez.
I was stunned because in my 65 years here, I've never seen anything of that scale.
Mayor Dave Kiffer calls the loss of life heartbreaking, but stresses the current damage zone could spread even further.
There's about a quarter of the town currently at risk for yet another slide.
Yes.
How frightening is that?
It's
Frightening.
very frightening. To be honest, I don't think of any people in Ketchikan walk about their daily lives thinking, hey, that mountain.
Oh, fucking ad. Popping out my speakers.
It's going to come down. And now we have to.
As for any cause, officials say the landslide struck following an unusually dry August,
Look at that.
when a weekend storm left conditions soaked.
Oh, man.
It's definitely heartbreaking to see. It affects your mind tremendously. It's traumatizing for sure.
Leah Canfield, one of several whose homes were damaged, all too aware this may not be over.
And Morgan, as you know, that's the big concern tonight. What is the potential for another landslide?
More. Lots more.
Yeah, Tom, the potential for a secondary landslide is very real with that prime area of concern south of the original slide site. And that is why tonight, evacuation orders remain in place for multiple neighborhoods in Ketchikan. Tom?
Thanks. I'll take it from here. Now they could probably put those people on the cruise liners. We need help. We need food. And, people getting off the cruise liners. Can you imagine if your boat, because we were on the same boat, if that boat was coming up next is the beautiful town of Ketchikan, and they're all running because mud's all flying all over the place. You're like going, we're not stopping here. It seems like the natives have gotten rowdy. That's ideal. But I mean, I called it. I said, man, that's a mess right there. And I got pictures of it. And if I can find it, if I got the time, I'll post them on the Facebook page. All right, guys, when we come back, Costco is going to open up in New Jersey, but there's a thing called Blue Laws, and they're not going to be allowed to sell a lot of things during certain times of the day at Costco. So why would you go there? Well, we'll find out. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. We'd love to hear from you, and the way you can do that, you can be part of the show, is go over to prophetradio.com. At the top of the page, it says leave a message for Deacon Live. Click, listen, send. It's that easy. If you got a microphone, you got a microphone on whatever device you're listening to us on or at, whether it be a smartphone, a tablet, your computer, anything like that. If you got a microphone on, speak right into it. You can be anonymous if you want. You can put a fake name up there. I love floppy boobies or something. I don't know, whatever you want to put up there. And then listen back to it, and you can send it right here to the Deacon Live show, and you can be podcast famous. We'll play it on the very next podcast if you get in soon enough. We broadcast every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in a beautiful town just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina called Marshville. We sit on about 22 some odd acres. We have horses, lots of horses, chickens, dogs, cats, goats, skunks, squirrels, the occasional riffraff. Nah, we don't have too many riffraffs around here. But they're building up around us. So, neighborhoods and families are all moving in behind us on the property, on the backside of our 22 some odd acres there. I can see one house. If I stand on the corner of the property in the back, I can look right into their bedroom window or bathroom window, or I don't know what room it is. I can't tell. They got curtains in there. Am I looking? No, not really. I'm just saying that I can look into whatever room that is if you're watching me here on the YouTube channel. And make sure you like us over on YouTube as well. Give us a little subscribe. It's not a money grab or anything over there. It's just another way for you to enjoy the Deacon Live podcast. Now, Costco, back in the day, I used to love to go there. Now I have absolutely no desire to go there. Everything, no matter what you grab, is $20. It's $20, $30. It's all in like increments of 5s and 10s. It's never like $17.94. It's never, $6.14. It's always $5, $10, $20, and $30, $50, $100,000. That's it. They just put a price tag on it. It's kind of like Price is Right. They just go, all right, what's the price of this? Let's put that there, and boom, you lose. But they're moving to New Jersey, and everyone's like going, yay, let's go to New Jersey. And Costco's like, yay, let's go to New Jersey. But unfortunately, there's something called Blue Laws, which are considered sacred laws in New Jersey. They're going to have to comply. The new Costco going to New Jersey City coming to a New Jersey City will have to comply to these unusual restrictions that other locations do not have to deal with. Paramus, which is in the Bergen County, not too far from New York City, has the nation's strictest blue laws, according to Mayor Chris DePiazza, who refers to them as sacred laws. Blue laws prohibit the sale of goods that are not considered necessary on Sunday. Give us our roads, give our residential neighborhoods a day of rest off from the traffic and noise. Piazza told Fox Business over the phone, if approved, Costco location will not have gas. If approved, this Costco location will not have gas nor an exemption from the blue laws listed by Chapter 391 in the Paramus Code. So what does that mean? That means customers will not be able to walk in and buy a television on Sunday. The store will operate like nearby competitors BJ Wholesale, which is open but restricts the sale of non-essential items. DiPiazza, the mayor, said Costco will either have to rope off these areas with items not available for purchase on Sundays, or the cashiers must know not to sell certain items that are brought to the register. According to the Bergen Record, the Bergen County Record, the Bergen Record, which is the local newspaper, New Jersey's first such law was set in 1704, and then in 1798, it became a national statewide act to suppress vice and immorality. In 1959, the state allowed individual counties to decide for themselves whether to keep the restrictions, and as of 1985, Bergen County has been the only one to keep these blue laws in place, with repeal attempts voted down in 1980, 1993, according to the record, with Paramus, the town of Paramus, having blue laws that go beyond the rest of the county. So get with the times, people. Well, I mean, then why would Costco want to go there? Why would Costco want to go to a place where they can't sell unnecessary, not necessity items on Sunday? Do they do a whole lot of business? Just close on Sunday. Just no, we can't close. We have to sell our hot dogs. We have to sell, those are necessities. We have to sell that damn pizza, that chicken bake, whatever it's called, where it's all wrapped up and stuffed with like a burrito or something. I don't know, something weird. A friend of mine was telling me about it. Where is the Chinese guy going to eat his pizza wrapped in his hot dog wrapped in a pizza? Where is that guy going to eat that on Sunday? Is it a necessity? We don't know. That you can argue back and forth was a necessity for a very long time is now being ditched by companies left and right. And that is the DEI policies. Lowe's is one of the first people, or one of the main companies, that are now jumping on board, dropping the DEI policies as activists claims a new win. Lowe's company is scaling back its equity. Yeah. Let's try this again. The Lowe's company is scaling back its diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, the latest American company to end such initiatives following a series of activist attacks on firms that promote DEI. The home improvement retailer will no longer participate in surveys for the LGBTQ advocate groups, the Human Rights Campaign, and will also combine its various business resource groups that represent diverse employees into an umbrella organization, said in an internal note released to the press. It also focuses on sponsoring events related to safe and affordable housing, relief disaster, and skilled trade education will not and will not participate in any community events outside of this remit. The U.S. corporations have been facing pressure to curtail programs they adopted following the murder of George Floyd by a white police officer in 2021 and racial recognition. All right, Supreme Court's decision banning a Supreme Court's decision last year banning the affirmative action in universities has emboldened opponents of the DEI programs, invigorating legal activists, including Edward Bloom and former Donald Trump staffer Stephen Miller, who have filed a lawsuit and issued complaints to the U.S. government around corporate hiring that they say is unfairly favors white non-workers. Robbie Starbuck, who calls to boycott several firms that promote DEI, have led to some of those companies cutting back and eliminating diversity programs. Claims credit for the move by Lowe's. The company has changed its DEI policy after Starbucks reached out to the firm last week, he said on Twitter. It says X, but I'm going to say Twitter. So let's get a little bit more insight of what actually is happening from WSOC here in Charlotte, where Lowe shifts. This is their home base here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Their home office is in here, and their DEI programs are changing. So let's listen a little bit more on this. I'm going to switch the camera forward. We can see this, and we all be friends. So here we go. And let's make sure you've got sound. Start you over. Put some sound.
Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Program. The Mooresville-based home improvement store sent a memo to workers in response to a recent Supreme Court ruling. Channel 9's Evan Donovan joins us to explain that move. Evan?
Yeah, explain it to me too.
Scott, I'm outside Lowe's offices in South End, the tech hub they built here in the last few years, where employees reportedly got that internal memo yesterday.
I know if you're listening to us on headphones, this Evan Donovan doesn't know the difference between mono and stereo when he does his broadcast.
Lowe's reportedly began talking about changes to its DEI programs last summer after the Supreme Court banned the use of race as a factor in admissions at college programs, including UNC Chapel Hill and Harvard. Now, Bloomberg first broke this news. It says that Lowe's has 8 different business resource groups, including for black employees, Latinos, LGBTQ, and women. Those will all be combined into one group, according to this new memo. It also says that Lowe's will not sponsor or participate in community events that are outside 3 of its key areas: disaster relief, safe and affordable housing and community improvement, and skilled trades education. But it adds, however, should they wish to do so, associates are welcome to engage in their communities and participate in events and activities in their personal capacity. Bloomberg also says that report states that Lowe's was one of the best places to work for LGBTQ equality, according to the Human Rights Campaign, which is an activist and lobbyist group for the LGBTQ plus community. This Lowe's internal memo says that it will no longer participate in that HRC survey. Live in South End, Evan Donovan, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
All right, Evan, thank you very much.
Yep, thanks, Evan. Thanks, Evan. So, I mean, what is your opinion on that? I mean, do you agree with, I don't want to say is you know, I mean, because there's so many groups out there. Everyone wants this, everyone wants that group. You know, you have it started with, you know, black and Hispanic, and then and women, and then black and Hispanic and women, and then it's, you know, the LGBT, I'm bi, I'm trans, and all, and it's just too many. It's too many people that are pulling at you in 2 different ways. Let's group everyone in one situation, one group, one class, and say, okay, this group right here will deal with you guys as all equal. You guys are all equal. Compared to us, we're all equal. I say us. Listen to me. This guy, I'm running for some kind of office, right? We're all equal. Advancement on merit, you know, not based on who you are. So that's what Lowe's is doing. I hope it's the right thing. I hope they don't get any backlash. I hope they don't get a big push from the LGBT community, because they're the ones who do they spark the most fires out there. They really do. But That's what Lowe's is doing. So if you agree, if you disagree, I'd love to hear from you. And the way you can do that is go to profitradio.com. At the top of the page says Be Heard. You can leave us a message. Comes right to our inbox, and we'll play it on the very next podcast. If you don't want to leave a message, that's fine. You can email me at any time at deacon@profitradio.com. Comes to the same place. And when we come back, guess what, beer drinkers? We are saved. There is a new pill that's coming out that will solve all of our world problems. And ladies, watch out. So stick around. You listen to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social platforms. And the way you can find us is to go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com. At the top of the page says social contacts. Hit that little menu right there. It drops down, and you can find all the stuff that links us to you and you to us as well. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook, of course, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to us over YouTube as well. We do have a matching video for every podcast we do. You can see all the stuff. You can see me waving you here in the studio. Hi! And any of the videos and stuff that we have that we're talking about here on the program, it just gives you another media source for you to enjoy the program in a visual aspect. What is that noise? Oh, it's my chicken. I told you, 22 some odd acres. And if you'd like to leave us a message as well, the Be Heard section is right there as well. Click on that. It comes right to our inbox, and we'll play it on the very next podcast as well. We broadcast every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a little town we like to call Marshville. Did I get all that out of the way? All right, so this guy right here, actually, it's that time of year where we're starting to get sick. You know, we're starting to get into fall, and with fall comes flu and cold season. And there's a product out there called Mucilex. And this girl right here says, if you take Mucilex, you should just take the whole pill. But I guess the Mucilex pill is like as big as like a quarter. Not a quarter pill, but like a U.S. coin quarter. It's huge. And a lot of people can't swallow pills. I remember growing up as a child, I used to have to dissolve all my pills into a spoon and then drink them. I know. Ugh. It took me up until my college days before I can actually physically take a pill and swallow it, with water and stuff. Now I just out of habit. Really? You used to swallowing a lot there, Deacon? Yeah, I do. I swallow a lot. But this girl right here says, no one wants to take those large horse pills when they're sick, especially if they have a scratchy, painful throat. The common solution for folks taking large tablets to cut them in halves or even quarters, depending on the size, to make them easier to swallow. Now you're breaking the protective coating on there. One woman says that she's learned that she'll never do this with the Mucinex DM after she had a bad reaction to a congestion and a cough suppressant. In the video posted on TikTok by user Jordan at __Jordan _ on TikTok. I guess Jordan _ was taken and then _ anyways, it goes on and on and on. She was trying to cut the pills to make it easier to swallow. She learned the hard way not to do this the appropriate way of taking the medicine, she says. The box says take the pill as a whole. And she said she started hallucinating. She started spinning and stuff. Now, I don't know if I should be telling you guys all this because now everyone's going to go out there and go, I'm going to take Mucilex, chop it in half, and have a good time. Well, at least you'll be clear. You won't have any snot boogers or anything like that. So let's hear more about what _ Jordan says about taking the whole entire pill. And I'm going to switch over to camera 4, and you can see this in real time as we're talking about it here on the air. So here she goes, Jordan _ Jordan. Here we go.
Right now, do not cut Mucinex DM in half to try to make it easier to swallow. I understand why they check ID for this shit now. The pill is big-backed as hell. I thought I was finessing the system with my little pill cutter from Walgreens. Finessed my damn self. Folks be seeing the Hat Man when they take too much Benadryl. I saw the little Mucinex man from the commercials. I'm sitting there sipping on my water, dizzy as fuck, trying to counteract the shit. And he's sitting on the other side of the room smiling.
Hold on. Is she trying out for a play or something? This sounds like a High School Musical play that she's trying out for.
Smiling at me. Read the directions. Swallow the pill whole.
So there you go. That's _ Jordan saying that she was tripping balls as far as taking a Mucinex pill, cut in half. Have you ever done that? I don't know. I've never heard of anyone like that. And Mucinex has been out for a very, very long time. So if you have, we'd love to hear from you as well. Now, beer drinkers unite. Me included. we have chased the beer solution as far as like hangovers and stuff like that. Now, I don't get hangovers. I pace myself when I have beer and stuff. I usually pace myself. I don't, double fist Jaeger bomb, party and stuff. I know what my limits are. My limits are this. Once I reach that limit or whatever time clock I've set, let me switch back to camera one. Whatever time clock I've set, that's my cutoff, and then I continue about my day. Those days of me having hangovers and stuff, I'm talking hangovers, like you just do not want to get out of bed. Those days are over. Now, there'll be a couple times my wife and I will sit on the back porch on a Friday evening after working and stuff, have a couple beers, we'll listen to the radio and stuff. I think I got a song there somewhere. Listen to the radio. And, we'll get a little carried away, but, we don't see each other a whole lot. So Friday night's a day that we can sit there and relax and unwind and stuff. And sometimes Saturday morning we'll be like, oh, man, did you drink that whole bottle of tequila? Did you drink that whole case of beer? I think, and the answer to both of those is usually yes. So sometimes we'll have like a little bit of a fuzziness, not a hangover. You're just like, oh, I don't want to do anything. But right now, studies show that this miracle drug, hangover, cures. Let's backtrack a little bit. Studies have shown that this item that's a miracle hangover cure also, get ready for this, burns off 70% of the calories from alcohol. Yes, we have done it. Someone has actually figured this out. After 1 week of use, the pill is claimed to substantially lower the uptake of alcohol in the blood. The new pill claims to leave us feeling fresh the morning after of a heavy night of drinking, while dealing with the calories from all the beer and cocktails you have knocked back in the process. As a non-drinker, this person who wrote the article, I'm consistently reminded how lucky I am to never have the experience of a hangover. But they have often described to me as imagining worse headache times 10. Yes, we all know that. We've all been there. So, in fact, some of my friends, this person's writing in first person or whatever it is. Some people, my friends, are in their 30s, said they have cut back on booze because of the hangovers. Well, you can't, priorities, right? You can sit there and either pace yourself and do what you need to do, or just don't sit there and double fist Jaeger bomb. While there's a new alleged miracle drug that comes with a claim that it cures the hangover. So back in 2022, a group of researchers tested the pill called Myrkl, M-Y-R-K-L, which initially sounds like miracle, on 24 health subjects, 13 male and 11 female. The sample group were randomized and took 2 capsules a day of the AB001 drug or placebo for 1 week prior to exposure to alcohol. The experiment said they ingested a light breakfast, drank moderate glasses of spirits, the breath analyzer test, and blood was drawn to determine that the blood alcohol level was performed up to 6 hours. So they can keep track and make sure that they're drunk. After the crossover, the experiment was repeated for the following week. Areas under the curves were calculated and determined that alcohol consumption rates. So as a result, they were staggering after just 1 week of the supplement of the miracle formula, AB001. Its result is substantial, reduced the absorption of alcohol into the body, making your hangover a lot easier to deal with. So it doesn't say it's completely cured. You might have a little bit of a buzz. That, like the guy on the plane. The press release for the miracle is a first ever product in history that demonstrates the breakdown of alcohol effectively, eliminating 70% of the alcohol within 70 minutes, reducing common symptoms experiencing after drinking alcohol. Not only does Miracle break down the alcohol into water and carbon dioxide before it reaches the liver, but it also eliminates calories associated with alcohol in the process. The results of the study indicates Miracle contains the first formula in history to show a promising ability to break down alcohol while it also consumes burning calories. But bear in mind, this was all done on a very, very small scale. 13 men, 11 women. Whether it has the same effect on a large kebab and cheesy chips that you get on your way home is a different question. So there's a miracle drug out there, if you want to call it a miracle drug. where you can, I guess, drink alcohol and you're like, I'm going to pop a couple of these and I'll be fine in the morning. There's always a risk. Like you might go completely bald. Like Miracle will go, hey, you know what? You big fatty, we'll take the weight off from the alcohol you just drank. 95 calories. We'll cut that down to 20 calories. And but your hair's all going to fall out and your skin's going to turn a rash blue or something like that. That's worth it, man. It's fucking worth it. No, man. So Miracle, I'm going to look them up, and I wonder if they have buy some stock in them, because if it takes off, millions. I'm just looking for that one little iota of a stock that I can buy and just have it just rocket shade out of the ground. And speaking of rocket shade, this is your little moment of zen towards the end of the program. You ever skip rocks as a kid? I came across this video. I'm gonna switch to camera 4. This guy must be the champion, because this rock flies across the lake, nice calm lake, at least, I told you I wasn't good with distance, at least 50 yards. So I'm going to switch to camera 4, and you guys can all see this in real time as we're talking about it here on the program over on YouTube. So rock skipping level expert. So here he goes. I got to turn the volume on. There you go. Oh, I'm going to flag for the music. But anyways, I'll just talk over it. Get it. And if you don't know what skipping rocks are, you get a nice flat rock and a nice calm lake, and you can sit there and fling that thing across the surface, and it'll skip. And sometimes it'll skip for a very long time. Sometimes it's like 3 or 4. This thing is flying. Could be a UFO. So there you go. All right, guys, on that note, I'm going to let you get back to doing what you got to do. Make sure you follow us over on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe over there. And also, if you have any questions for me, you can email me anytime at deacon@prophetradio.com. Let's switch back to me now. And if you like to be heard, we'd love to hear from you. You can be podcast famous over at Prophet Radio, proud sponsors of Deacon Live. Leave us a message. It comes right to our inbox. You can be anonymous if you want. I don't care. Just give us a little heads up as far as what you're talking about, when you're talking about, and what that happened. All right, guys, on that note, I'm going to let you get back to doing what you got to do. My name is the Deacon, saying goodnight and goodnight.
Wait, come back. The absolute end.
Écoute-moi.
It shit on me. That's okay, because that's really okay.